Okay, Patriots. First, I have to say thank you. All of your prayers and well wishes really helped. They helped. We had a successful day today. My family had a major success, and it's going to bring peace to several of us. So thank you for thank you so much for all of the prayers and well wishes. I can't thank you. Let me know if you ever need any, and we will reciprocate. I cannot thank you enough. So, we have to jump right into this update from Dr. Pressley. If you don't know Dr. Laura Pressley, you need to know Dr. Laura Pressley. If you're in Tarrant County, she's coming in October. I believe it's October 17th to do a poll watcher training at Mavericks, which is a Patriot-owned bar who has an agreement with the Arlington Republican Club. They host all their meetings. They close the bar and let them host their meetings there. It also happens to be a heavy metal spot. But, shh, don't tell. The owner's a metalhead. We got a lot of Patriot metalheads. So, this is a motion in the Supreme Court of Texas, okay? It's called Realtor's Emergency Motion to Prioritize. Now, this has to do with the ballot numbering issue that Dr. Pressley taught me about. She's been championing this issue for a long time. Most of the time, she's been on her own. And she's been targeted and harassed and blacklisted and slandered and mocked. I'm talking about you, Aaron Harris. You will never hold elected office in Tarrant County. Okay? Just good luck running as a Democrat, because you're not running on our ticket. The last thing I said to Aaron Harris was on primary night. And I'm sitting there making notes about the totals as they're coming in. And the totals are coming in late. So Rick Barnes, Ricky Rodriguez, and Aaron Harris walked in and pretty much cornered Hyder and tried to get him to explain why the results were in so late, because Rick Barnes was nervous. Jeff Marshall made him nervous that he might not have had as good of a success as he thought. And Aaron Harris, you know, I think Tim and I were talking about something. Tim Davis, Tarrant County GOP attorney. And he asked me some question. I said, yeah, you know, Tim, you know, just responded to something about, you know, we'll take that to court if we have to. And Aaron Harris sort of laughed at me and asked me, how are Laura Pressley's lawsuits going? And I said, well, and he was laughing, because that's kind of all he knows how to do is gloat. So here's an update, Aaron Harris, since you're so curious. It says, this is really good. Okay. It says, come now, realtors, and ask the court to prioritize this mandamus proceedings pursuant to Texas I don't know what this code is right here, 40.1C, and I think that has to do with a court proceeding. And this is the good part. The recently enacted Texas Government Code 22.305, which states, quote, the Supreme Court or Court of Appeals shall prioritize over any other proceeding pending or filed in the court a proceeding for writ of mandamus under Chapter 273 Election Code pending or filed in the court on or after the 70th day before a general or special election. So apparently there's a new Texas government code that says that, hey, if there's a writ of mandamus that has to do with an upcoming election, you got to prioritize that. You got to get that. You got to make a ruling on that. Okay? This case concerns the numbering of ballots to be utilized in the November 2022 general election in Texas. As described in detail in the petition, realtors request that the court issue a writ of mandamus to require the Secretary of State to perform his ministerial duty of issuing an election advisory to county officials regarding the consecutive numbering of ballots beginning with the number 1. Consistent with the mandatory requirements of Election Code 52.062 and the Texas Constitution. Such guidance is necessary to correct the Secretary's current inaccurate guidance to election officials in Election Advisory 2019-23, Section 13(1)(b). Early voting for the November 8, 2022 election begins on October 24, 2022. A fact within the court's knowledge in its official capacity, there is time for the Secretary of State to issue an appropriate advisory, but only if this proceeding is prioritized and the court renders its opinion and judgment at the earliest practicable time. Realtors respectfully request disposition by October 3rd, 2022, so that the Secretary has sufficient time to issue a lawful election advisory and Texas counties have an appropriate amount of time to comply therewith. Accordingly, realtors respectfully request that the court prioritize this original proceeding in the interest of justice and pursuant to Texas Government Code 22.305 and render judgment on or before October 3rd, 2022, in time for the Secretary to comply before October 24th, 2022. Realtors also request such and other further relief to which they may be entitled. Boom. All right. Now, there's another aspect to this, okay? We're asking for this ruling, and if we can get this ruling and the counties don't comply, we can sue them. And the grounds on which we will sue them, some counties are already complying with the law. Some counties don't seem to have a problem complying with the law. Dallas County just recently went back to numbering their ballots according to the law. But if we can get an actual ruling from the Texas Supreme Court on this, and our counties don't comply, we will be suing on the grounds of vote dilution. They are diluting our votes. We don't know that our votes are being accurately counted. See, with consecutively numbered ballots, beginning with the number 1, that are prepared by being numbered, right? They're pre-printed with numbers on them. Very difficult to insert fake ballots. Very difficult. I mean, it's a pain in the ass. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's a pain in the ass. The way that they're numbering the ballots now, you don't even know how they're numbering the ballots, do you? I do. But it was like pulling teeth trying to find out. It's not super clear. You've got to know all the right questions to ask. And because nobody knows how they're numbering the ballots, not so difficult to insert fake ones. How would you know? I'm just saying. This is in theory. But that's why they write the laws. To make sure that none of this could happen. Right? So if they don't follow the law with the preparation of our ballots that provide an auditable paper trail, we have no way of knowing that our votes are properly counted. They could very well be diluting our votes, and that's exactly what we're going to sue on the basis of. You can't prove that you're not diluting our votes, but what can be proven is that the counties that aren't following the law are breaking the law. I mean, it's pretty black and white. We're a nation of laws. We didn't write the laws for nobody to follow them. We didn't write the laws to be gaslit and talked out of complying with them. That doesn't meet the spirit of the law. Hyder, I know that you and I disagree on the ballot numbering issue. And I know that you've taken the position that the Secretary of State has full authority to waive compliance with Texas Election Code. And I suppose you have the right to an opinion. But you are paid with our taxpayer dollars to comply with election codes. And it's your call, Hyder. Go ahead and order the pre-numbered ballots, consecutively numbered, beginning with the number 1.